Sorry about that.
Totally. That was an amazing trip.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to you about that. Don't know when or how we do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was crazy. 12,000 miles across the ocean, stopping every day at a new island. It was amazing. Yeah, and not that expensive. Hi, I'm Crystal Gepford. Oh my gosh, want me to pick my favorite product? Well, it started off with Customs, still is Customs. Definitely. To make everybody else and myself and anybody that's sick feel better. I mean, that was my passion. That's how I went area manager. That's still a major heart's desire of mine.
I haven't been
really,
sick in 3 years. I've not had a cold or flu.
in 3 years.
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
And I'll say that and then I'll get something. No.
yeah, and then if you haven't retested, which I'm guilty of, $99 along with what my team is doing is, maybe you haven't used your skincare line and maybe you haven't retested in a while. Buy that for $200. Yeah, the whole Healthier You. You get $200 to get the skincare plus the $99 for the retest plus the Prime Essentials, which I'm going to give to my daughter, right? So that's great. I guess the other thing that I absolutely love is the skincare line. I mean, I love the other, the mask with
The reverse 20?
the reverse 20. But overall, I did a facial yesterday on a gal. I mean, she's 25, and to watch her just feel her face and just go in awe of how, and she's only 25. And I was like, I was 50 when I used it, and I was like, in awe. And then reverse 20 was icing.
Yes,
Totally.
it is. It's
Icing
a
on the
lovely
cake.
icing on the cake.
This year, I want to replace half of my husband's income with Biocity Awesome. And when I do that, we can take all of that money and put it into deferred comp tax, no taxes. And that's
to make a big difference.
That would make a big difference in our retirement, which is in 5 years. So along with helping, like Lily made, $400. I mean, sell your 800 and make that great commission.
Right. So you get to help people while you get to change it, which is awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
So we just started the recording. So if you're listening to the recording, you missed some of the favorite products. We have all kinds of fun things happening, but we talked about how much we love the mascara, how much we love the Miracle Elixir in the reverse 20 line. Denise, what was your favorite? Because I was having to do technical issues.
Intuitive.
Yeah. Overall. And Dominique, you said the mascara. And Jessica. Yes, and I was like, wait, I said the wrong daughter. Mascara. And the Intuitive used for a while. And you said the Customs because you haven't been sick. Yes. So, and I'm Jamie, and I think that my favorite is probably the ProGuard because I have had sick kids this winter. Last year my kids did so much better, but this year it's like we're playing too hard or something. I don't know. And so the thing I'd say too is with those Customs, I will take an extra half pack when I know they're sick or when I am concerned that somebody's going to be, and then I'll take 6 to 8 of those ProGuard a day. And I had a cousin call me who her daughter was just hacking like crazy, and my cousin actually just had a surgery, so she could not have coughing because she had incisions, She's like, what do I need to do? And she's like, I started taking the ProGuard. I'm like, don't take the 2. I mean, we have to have certain things on the back from a medical standpoint, right? But when you know you've been exposed, quickly get the ProGuard, do 6 to 8. It's amazing the difference it makes. And fun in 2018. We're doing a lot of trips this year, and I've always loved to travel. We kind of chose not to travel very much last year, and so we just got back from San Diego, which was awesome. I wish I'd brought that 67-degree weather with me. But we're headed back to California in March, so that'll be really fun, some other trips. So I just love all the traveling. So can you girls unmute? Elizabeth, can you unmute and tell us your...
Yes. Yep.
Kyle, you're next.
Yeah. So I'm Elizabeth. My favorite is the Jade Clay mask. I love it to do it as an actual mask, but I also love it for the spot treatment. That's like one of my go-tos. So I have a lot of favorites, but that is my #1 favorite. And for in April, we're going to Seychelles, which is like an island off Africa in the Indian Ocean. So we're taking a trip there with friends. They're people from work, but they're also really good friends. So it'll be a really fun trip.
That's awesome. We'll want to see pictures. Kyle, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Kyle. I act for my favorite Biosutica product. I haven't been able to get anything else besides what I ordered with like the welcome pack, but I love the five.
Yep, the intuitive 5-step like Jessie was talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like when I was in India, like I was super hot there, and I felt like I actually one of my bags came late, which had all the products in there, so I had to use like a basic lotion for my face. I felt like my face wasn't as hydrated, or like it just felt off that day. But then like when I got my bags the next day, it felt much better, and I don't know. I really like it. My face doesn't feel oily. I get bags under my eyes because my dad decided to pass that on to me. So I feel like the bags have gotten better. But I definitely want to start. I'm like back now from all my traveling extravaganzas. So I definitely want to start the customs, and you guys have all said good things about it. So I definitely want to try that. In 2018, my parents, my brother, and I, and my entire dad's side of the family are planning to go on a tour to China for 2 weeks.
Wow.
China or Costa Rica, one of the two. We're still deciding which one. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. That's great. Well, and welcome. So Pal got her products, but then quickly left the country. So she really hasn't had a chance to do more than know she wanted to get involved. So welcome and thanks for being on tonight. Yeah. Jenna, can you unmute and share?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I can see you, but you can't see me.
Nice trick, Jenna.
My favorites, I have so many because I've used a lot of the product. And so I use the color palette, and I use the 5-day, and I do the customs. So I guess I'll just say I love the customs. I've tried every other vitamin that you could try. I love to choose organic products, and I've tried all of them, and nothing compares to the customs. So I guess that would be my favorite. And traveling, I don't get to go anywhere too exciting. This is our busy season is starting, so we have to stay here and do work. But I do travel quite a bit to Idaho to see my grandkids, and then my daughter in Portland. So I spend a lot of time there with my grandkids. So those two places. So that's pretty much my agenda.
And those grandkids are fun, as several here can attest to.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and Jenna, I love that you said that, because I know you use the customs, and then as you pursued your nutritional degree, you tried some different products. And sometimes that's not a bad thing, because it reminds you what we have, and that it does make a difference in how we feel.
Absolutely.
So awesome. Well, okay. So a couple of business things to take care of. One of the things I thought might be fun to do would be to have a vision board night that we could do both on Zoom and here, and invite clients. Wouldn't be a business focused event necessarily. It would just be a great chance to get together, invite people, kind of build a fun type thing, and we could all be doing it in all the different places as well. So what do you think about that? Is that something that you think would be?
Just that she's never done it before.
You haven't done it before?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well,
Maybe if I see it on
yeah, well, just like just so basically getting a bunch of different magazines, and you can even bring some stuff with you if you just had a chance to think about it. But basically, what do you want to have be do in the next 5 to 10 years, let's say? And some of it's stuff you want for this year, some of it's stuff you have further out for yourself. But there's so much research really that shows that over time what we focus on is what we bring into our lives, right? And whether we choose to focus on something or not, we're still focusing on something. So when we really kind of put it on paper, the things we really want to see happen, that often then we move more towards those. So it can be a fun way to put, little things. You want a certain purse, certain, shoes or whatever. You want a different house. You want a vacation you want to take. You want, so just kind of a great time to come together and have some fun, and also just kind of deepen our relationships with each other and with clients. And so there's no business training during the event, just a fun. So we'd probably open it with a little more about how vision boards work, and then on our Zoom and together is more fun. But those of us who aren't close, either you have a couple people all together and we just kind of get on together. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you guys think that are not here today?
I love the idea.
You love it, Jenna? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I do. I think it's great.
Okay, awesome. So I'll throw some dates out, maybe on one of those poll kind of things, and then you guys can let me know. And if we can't find one date that works, then maybe we do two. So I'll throw that out. And then I'm also going to throw out a date so we can kind of start having a set date again for our team trainings, because we were doing, I want to say, the first Monday, and then I don't know how that all works. So I'll throw some dates out for that. But there's so much to be said for technology now, which is awesome. So if you haven't had a chance to go do it, I'm going to share the screen real quick. If you go to starfishsuccess.com and you go to just the homepage, over here on the far drop down that's kind of covered by the screens, you see if there's a little arrow that says more. And then if you click on blog, then right here on blog, so here are the past trainings. So there's
The YouTubes?
yes,
Right.
yep, and they're on YouTube,
Nice.
so you can click on them. You can do this on your phone. It's very easy. So you'll see that down here was the first one we had in January. The Are You In? Simple, Consistent Steps for Success. It's 8 minutes, but we talk about what does it take to succeed on a monthly basis. And it's 2 to 5 contacts a week. Don't overthink it. Don't make it complicated. Just make sure you're consistent. And then this is the whole Healthier You. So if you have some people that are, that's a great deal that ends in a week. This video is about, I think this was just right at 10 minutes, 9 minutes. We try to keep it short. You can send people that Dr. Keener and I talking about the advantage of the skincare and the nutrition.
Great video.
This is about the 20-minute one that Dr. Jesse Keener did, which gives more in-depth information. And then here is the one from last week, minutes before I left for the airport. So hopefully I wasn't speaking too quickly, but about scheduling tips for success and how a 2-hour tornado can change everything. Because we do all get so busy. If you set aside those 2 hours that you just make outbound calls, and there's tips for how to do that, your business just gets loaded right back up. So just want you to know that if you go to that, any past trainings you can find on the Facebook page, but also they're being put there so that they're easy for you to find, because we are all busy.
That's great.
Next week's training is going to be people buy an experience, not a product. What are you selling? And when you listen to them, I'd love it if you send me a text and let me know, and let me know what feedback you have. And then we are going to be shifting around speakers too, so that we have different people doing the trainings. Keep in mind that on Monday nights, we have our new opportunity call that is starting up. So that is awesome. So it's every Monday. There we go. Every Monday night, we'll have about a 10-minute kind of call that you can have people listen into to hear more about Bioseutica. So have that on your calendar. I think it's 7 o'clock our time. With traveling, I haven't quite gotten it down. So make sure you get that on your calendar.
Is that
So-
Jim or just a bunch of you
Say
guys?
again? It's rotating.
Rotating.
Mhm.
Yeah. Y'all?
Yeah, but the script is consistent from week
Cool.
to week. Yeah. And Jesse Keener wrote the script.
Awesome.
It's a great script.
Awesome.
So I'm going to start off with some training, and then we have Crystal and Elizabeth both are going to do some training, and I may have Elizabeth hop on because I know she has some other things to be on here in just a minute. But so what I want to start with was, how many of you play basketball? I don't really play much, but I played in junior high, right?
I do my babies.
See, you shoot. Right. Well, so we all know how the game works, and probably many of you catch much better than I do, because there's a reason I played it in junior high, right? So, but what I want us to think about for a minute is how much what we do is a lot like basketball. So here are a couple questions. Do you have something to write with? Here, I'll give you, I was going to say, so grab a notebook real quick if you don't have it already. And here's some.
I'm gonna grab my little. I have a little notebook in the car.
Yeah, that you keep all the things on it. Yeah.
It's
Keep
just,
it all
are we
together.
gonna just, it's just like a game?
Oh, not a game. No, 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 just for you.
Okay.
Yep, just for you. Perfect. So if you guys have notebook paper. Oh, yes. Let me grab some.
Yeah, I do the little shoot with 3 and 5-year-olds. I play basketball that way.
Thank you.
I think it is. No, no, no. I just made sure I got you.
I found it on the side.
All right. And Pyle and Elizabeth, I know it's a lot later where you guys are. Is it 10 where you're at? 9?
No, it's only 8:45.
Oh,
Oh, good.
well, has the jet lag been hard?
I've been back for 10-ish days, but I've had some family stuff go on this week, so I haven't.
Yes, you do. I'm so sorry about, is it your grandma?
My grandfather, yeah.
Grandfather? Yeah. I'm very sorry.
So sorry.
I'm glad you were able to just be back there.
Yeah, me too. That's what
Yeah.
I keep remember,
You-
thinking about. That's what I keep thinking about.
Yeah.
I was just there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, but I'm sure that that's been hard, and it still is hard to adjust when you've been somewhere for a month. It's different than being there for a week or 2 and then coming back.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you being on tonight. So, okay, so we're going to talk about, so these are your things to write down. You don't have to turn this in. There's no correct answer. But, so thinking about basketball, thinking about the game that we're playing, right? My first question is, are you playing to win? Or are you playing not to lose? Mm-hmm. So do you feel like you kind of are set, you're moving forward and you're sure you're playing to win? Are you practicing? Right? Because if you're on a team, played a sport, we're practicing. So are you doing the training, are you plugging in, or you're practicing? So, and I can send you guys the questions too if you want to, but if you just want to kind of take a minute, kind of write down for you, like, am I doing this, am I not? Are you setting aside time to play the game? Because a winning team that never shows up on the court doesn't win. Even if they have a skill set, right?
Yeah. So setting aside time to play the game.
And then what does winning mean to you? Because that's the other thing I think sometimes we get, we all have different goals with Biosudika. That's the blessing, right? That can help us get to different places. So what does it mean to you to win? How will you know when you get there? What is winning to you? Do you have your goals set down so you can measure how many baskets you need to get there, how many wins you need to get there, what does it take? And then when you think about if you're going to play, if we're going to play, we want to play our best, right? So what does a champion player do? They always press past their last best. So regardless of what's happened in the past, where are you? And what's your next best?
They always
And what's it going to take? Press past
You have
their last
voice.
best.
Always press past
your last best.
your
So what new goals are you going to set? What looks, because I think the other thing is, if you're not playing to win and if you're not setting those goals and wanting to move forward, then you lose some of the joy, whatever venture you're in, you know?
Yeah, you get
right,
bored.
right. So think about those things. So let's say, so what does it take to win in basketball? You got to take a shot, right? So if you're not taking your shots, there's no way you can win the game. So the quickest way to break a fear or an excuse is to just do it, to act, to walk in the direction. So we're going to talk about how do you start taking shots in our game. First of all, remember that you're fishing, not hunting. When people go hunting, the animals run away. So we're fishing. So I want you to think about a few of these things. So I just got back from this great seminar called First Steps to Success in San Diego. It was great. I have almost a full notebook of notes, and we got the audio. So, but here's just a couple of notes that I took about this part of things. So when you are connecting with people, you get rejected when you lead with your interests without laying groundwork of trust. So we're going to talk about how to shift that, but keep in mind, that's when things go the wrong way. When you're coming from a what's in it for me standpoint, right? When you come at it from a standpoint of how can I help you succeed? And because what do we know? If I help enough people get what they want, I will also
Get what you want.
Yeah.
So say that again. When you are connecting with people,
You lose ground when you lead with your interests, right?
Sure. Yes.
I
It's funny how you're like, I don't know.
can't
It's a
find that.
minute ago.
I can't-
Yeah. I'll
You
send
lose
you my
ground.
notes, honey. And it's
Okay.
recorded. No worries. But so something she said that I thought was interesting is they're already sold on whatever it is. People are already sold on whatever they want, right? So our job is to figure out what they want, right? Find out what they want. Behind every single person you meet is 2,000 people. By the time we're 20, 2,000 people that we all have as connections. So every person you meet can connect you to someone else who's looking for what you have. And so if you take that understanding, give each person the care, right, to find out who they are, how you can help them, build that relationship, it's a win-win for both of you. So she said, if you come from a what can I get place, you're coming from a short-term cash standpoint. What can I give? You're looking at a win-win for both of you. So who can I help succeed? So she actually talks about, she came from a very broke place in life and built a big income in a short period of time. One of the things she talks about, though, that's interesting is we already talked about how great our products are, right? We have exceptional products. No one else in the U.S., in the world, has customized nutrition. Nobody even has it. We already know our skincare is exceptional, but nobody can even compete with what we have for customized nutrition. She was selling weight loss products, and quite interestingly, she didn't like the product. But something she said was it didn't change the fact that she knew the product had worked for other people. And sometimes I think we get so caught up in needing to make sure that every product works for us, or
We're totally sold on
right,
it.
or that if we have one person out of 7 who didn't like it, all of a sudden we're not sure if we can tell anybody about it, right? But we know this product works. I'll be really honest, my husband can't take the customs. It doesn't change the fact that I take them because I know how well they work for me, And so what she talks about is she knew that it did work for this lady that she personally knew. So she set out to see who she could help succeed with the product. So who can you help succeed with the customs to have stories like Elizabeth's, where she'd been going to doctors for 4 years and now has no more stomach pain? It doesn't, and I think sometimes, especially when we get started, even Paul, we feel like we have to use all the products, know everything before we can share it. But if we know people who personally had this experience, or if we know it's valid, positive experience, we can just move forward on that. So what we want, I'm sure that many of you have heard of Ford or FORM method, but I wanted to talk, she kind of took it a step further in a way that I had not heard before. So Ford, or FORM actually is what she does. So write down FORM on your page, kind of linear, right? Is that the right way to say that? Yeah. So F is family, right? O is occupation, R is recreation, and 4 is message. So when you meet with someone, and she was talking about even at the grocery store, not that we're looking to recruit people at the grocery store, but she was talking about the more you talk to people, the more you spread your influence, right? The more people you know, the more people you help, the more it's just a win-win. So asking people all these questions. Now, one thing that can happen is you can sometimes start to be like, oh, me too, da 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 da, da, and the conversation comes back to you. But you really want to stay focused on the other person and use form. But this was the piece that I hadn't heard as much before. And she said, what you're looking for is SIGN, which is another, what are those called? Acronym? Okay, SIGN. So SIGN is strengths, interests, goals, and needs. So what you're looking for as they share that information with you is, what are their strengths? What do they want in life? What are they interested in? And what do they need? And from that, how can you connect them? And it may well be what we have. It may well be that you know someone who could be a client for them. It may be that you know of a resource that could help them. But had you heard that before, Elizabeth, that adding on that looking for the sign, that piece of it when you form people?
I never have.
No.
No, I never have.
Yeah, and so it kind of increased its effectiveness to me, because you really are, you know, digging deeper into that person. So interestingly, we're supposed to form like 10 people every day. And we didn't have that much time outside the seminar. And so in the lift, right on the way back, I was like, oh, fine, I'll form these people. They're the only 2 people I want to see before we get back to the room. So fine, I'll form them. And what was interesting is, not with the intent to necessarily create a connection, right? But just, you know, what's your fan, and tell them, asking all these questions. Mm-hmm. It was very interesting to me, because actually one of the gentlemen, his girlfriend is vegan and she has some health concerns. And so I said at the end, now if it was someone locally, the point of the forming and the sign would be that you could say, hey, you know, it sounds like you're looking for clients for this or this for this. I'd love to get your information. Let me see if I can help you. I'll make some calls to some friends. And you would serve, if ever possible, you would serve first before you.
So,
right.
So,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah.
And so, but in this case, I'm not necessarily going to connect him with more Lyft clients, and he was driving Lyft full time at this point. And so I said, hey, you know, I am actually looking to expand in this market. He already knew I was vegan too, because we talked a little bit about that. And I said, you know, I would love to see if I could get in touch with you, tell you more about this product I have. I think it could help your girlfriend's health, but if it doesn't, would love it if you could pass it on to somebody else if you know somebody. If not, no problem. Can I get your number? The guy doesn't really know me, sure, because it's not their personal number, right, that you have. You know, he's like, sure, let me give you my phone number. The next night we're talking, and I seriously, again, was not anticipating any kind of reason that my product would work. I was just practicing the forming, right? Yeah. And as we're talking along, he is interviewing. He was in a medical technology kind of thing, and they figured out what they need to figure out. They thought it would be till like 4 more years, and they figured it out fast, which is good for the company, not so good for him, because they dissolved his area. Well, at the seminar I was just at, one of the guys was telling me about one of the resources available and how he's gotten every single job that he's interviewed for since he listened to this audio. And so I said, well, hey, you know, the seminar we were just at that you picked us up from, there's this audio. I personally haven't listened to it, but the guy at lunch told me that all these jobs he wasn't even qualified for, he used this process, it worked for him. Would you like that resource? And he said yes. So I wrote it down for him, and then I said, and there's my card in there too, just in case, you know, you can't find it when you look online. And then we continued talking a little more, and he said, well, what is it you do, you know, with the card? And I said that we have customized nutrition, and he was like, you know, I'm really interested in that. I sold pharmaceuticals in London. I'd said, and we don't have any representatives in California, because we don't, by the way. So if you know someone in California, now's the time to connect with them. But, and he was super interested and excited. So just got back, I need to connect with them tomorrow. But it was interesting to me, because I really wasn't even coming from a place of expecting to connect with them about that. But using that form and taking it a step further, looking for their strengths, interests, needs, and then seeking to serve them first. And I'd love to do some role play with that, but we have already buzzed right through our time. So we aren't going to do that.
I can interrupt you a second. So form is what you want to talk to the other people about, not who you're looking for. You're not looking for leads with your family.
No. So no, you're asking them about their family. So to give you, thank you for that. So it's helping yourself to know what the next question can be. So, you know, so with the Lyft drivers, you know, like, how long have you been driving? Do you like it? Kim Kearns always says, tell me more about that. You know, it's an excellent lead in. And I'm sure that with the massage you do, you probably, some people probably fall right asleep, but other people, you're probably really good at talking to people and asking them questions about themselves.
I know how to make it not feel like an interview. Interested, like just super personal. Yeah, all very naturally in conversation. From the time that they like meet me back to the room once they're on the table. Yeah, just making sure that it's that it doesn't feel like it's this like rehearsed, like digging, but also not too personal, not crying. Like your buddies or something. You know, like just still keeping it professional, finding that fine balance with getting, and then taking notes, you know, in my head, because if they do want to sleep, I don't want to give them the grill down first thing. But there are a couple of things I like to know, and then later on in the massage, I can like kind of follow up on that question.
So like what things?
So like if I ask what kind of work do you do? Instead of being like, what's your occupation? Or like something very like, mechanical, asking them what kind of work they do, and then, okay, I guess, you know, I can see why your shoulders hurt if they've expressed earlier why their shoulders hurt. Say they sit at a desk, sedentary job. And then later on in the massage, just going into, so do you get headaches from like your shoulder from sitting at a computer, or what do you think that, when do you notice that happening? Is that more when like you're waking up in the morning, or is that after a long day's of work?
Well, I think it's just when you're genuinely interested, it kind of follows question after, you know what I mean? So that's awesome.
And I really have the adage, the seek first understanding.
That's true. And if you really desire to serve and not get anything back, and you're genuinely interested, that's what builds trust. That's what builds trust.
Well, you're right. And so what's funny is what she said is, so she did a couple of played it out role play on stage, right? And it was interesting because she said, I promise you, strangers will give you their phone number if you talk about them. When you switch it back to you, which I'm not saying,
interested.
But she said, you know, certainly you could use this in a manipulative kind of way, or you could come from a place of, how do I serve this person? You know what I mean? And if you're coming from there,
nothing back.
She said, but the thing is, people want to talk about themselves, and people don't often get to. Very few people are interested in someone else, you know?
Yeah, there's a coach I recently heard talk about building that trust. And he used the analogy of like, we've got 4 others lined us up like we're in line at Starbucks. And there's somebody at the front of the line with their baby. And it's just like someone comes up from the back of the line and says, oh, can I hold your baby? Like a perfect stranger. And just like, who's going to do that?
Right.
Get their new baby?
Right.
Somebody who hasn't built that trust yet. And so the whole idea is to seek first to understand and build that trust and be interested in them before you ask them to hold their baby.
Right. That's a perfect example.
Which is what us as women want. We want that from, and if we give that to another woman or even a man, that's what it's natural. That's what we want as human beings.
Is that connection.
Yes.
So Elizabeth, I know you're outside the event, and we're actually kind of at the end of our training time. So Elizabeth, would you go ahead and give your training? And then I know you need to go inside. We'll have the recording, and we'll go a little longer while Crystal's training here in a minute too. But can you unmute, and then we'll let you go?
Yeah. Okay. So the 2 things that I wanted to cover were mindset and management of your time and emotions. So I think there are 2 places where it's easy to get caught up, both with our time and kind of with what we think other people might be thinking. And I was listening to Jamie's call or recording that she had done earlier in the week, and she touched on this for the time management aspect. And then if you guys listened, I don't know if anyone listened to Jean's live today, but it was funny because she also touched on that. Also, she talked about just making a decision and taking action on it. And, you know, I've heard Jamie say so many times, if you treat this business like a business, it will pay like a business. And if you treat it like a hobby, it will pay like a hobby, which is very true. But I also think it's easy for us to feel like we're all busy, because if I am looking around the table, which I can see most of you right now. Everyone has different stuff going on, but we are all very busy. And, you know, I was reading a little bit about kind of the two things to help fix that is, one, implement some systems, and two, essentially establish like hours of operation. I mean, if you know any company that opens, they have a grand opening and then they're like, this is when we're open, this time to this time. And that doesn't mean for us that if, you know, our clients have questions afterwards that we don't answer them, because of course we do, but, you know, setting aside time that we're focusing on that every week. And typically they recommend like 10 to 15 hours a week. And Jamie can attest to this. Is definitely something that I struggled with myself, is actually setting aside time to do it. But again, Jean talked about this on her live today, but just the importance of staying consistent, because it's really easy to implement something for a week and like be really strong at it, and then the next week sort of fall off. I think that it's easy to snowball in a positive way for a week, and it's just as easy to almost snowball like in a negative way. If it's Wednesday and we haven't really done any of the things that we had put in our planner to do Monday or Tuesday, and it's Wednesday and we still haven't, it's easy to feel like, all right, next week I'll get it together. And instead of just picking it up and starting with Wednesday. One of my friends is in the nutritional field, and she talked about how people always say like, oh, I fell off the bandwagon, or, oh, I'm on the wagon this week, or whatever it is, but they kind of chalk it up to like a whole week or a whole, you know, period of time to where they're either doing really good or they're not doing good. And, you know, she coaches them like, don't say you're falling off the bandwagon or you're off the bandwagon. Like, if today was a rough day, and yesterday was a rough day, and you didn't do anything for your Biopseutica business or your health or whatever it is, you know, pick it up tomorrow, instead of, you know, starting next week and focusing on it then. And when I was making these points, you know, as I was writing them down, I was thinking, these aren't mind-blowing things that no one's ever heard before, but just because they're not common sense doesn't mean that they're common practice. I think if all of us looked at our schedules, are we all doing that every week? I mean, you know, I can say for myself, no, not every week. But I do know that I should be. So keeping that in mind also. And then, okay, just a few tips. I try to pick up on times when I feel motivated, so, and feeding off of those. So when I watch the Facebook Lives from Jean, I realize that for me, that's a time where I feel motivated, I'm excited, I like what she's saying, and I use that to right then reach out to a few people, do a few follow-ups, and check in with people. I think at first when I started, I thought, you know, since I have probably like most of you, like a full-time job outside of this, so that's sort of like my 9 to 5. So I was thinking, okay, well, you know, if I'm on the couch hanging out, this will be easy to, you know, reach out to some people and have some conversations. But that is not the case for me, because I do not feel motivated then, and my energy level is not high then. So cueing in a little bit on when that time is for me and acting on it, because motion creates emotion. So if I am, you know, taking action, it typically snowballs into more action, and things start happening. So that was the other thing that I think I picked up the most on recently, was like, when am I feeling energy and feeling excited? And people can feel that when I'm talking to them. And instead of thinking like, oh yeah, Jean, that's a good idea, I should do that. No, like right then, I'm watching her maybe on my computer and on my phone, I'm starting to take action on something. So those are my points that I wanted to share for today. I hope that was helpful.
That was awesome, Elizabeth. That was fantastic. Those are really good points. Really good points. And you have like more than a full-time job. I know the kind of hours you work, and you travel a lot. And I've just been so impressed with, I feel like this fall, you've started to really see the vision of what Bioseutica can create for you or what it can be for you. And you're finding ways to just fit it right in. And I've just been so impressed, and I'm so lucky to get to work with you. So thank you very much for doing that. And if you need to head off and watch the rest of it, later, thanks for hanging out with us tonight from the car.
I absolutely will. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was really great. Wonderful tips. I took notes. Thank you very much.
Jamie,
Awesome.
I need to see my baby before bed.
Yeah.
So I'm dragging her out of here.
Okay.
She's gonna go to
Thank you
bed.
guys so much
So-
for being here.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
yes, thank you.
Good to see you.
Yes, I was going to say, so we're going to have Crystal start her training. I'm going to give you guys both a hug goodbye. But so Crystal,
I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
okay.
5
Oh,
minutes.
5 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, Crystal's got 5 minutes.
Okay, so here's the quote. The power of the mind is like the rays of the sun. When they are concentrated, they illuminate. So Darren Harding, I was doing some training with Darren Harding, and he is the author of Success Magazine.
You saw you just you've seen the town.
No,
I didn't, but oh gosh. Crush. Anyway, yeah, I'm taking some classes and paying for it. There was a 101-year-old man that he was going to interview for Success Magazine. The guy would not tell who his name was, did not want to be acknowledged, but he gave him some principles of what it was like to be on the earth for 101 years. And so what I want to talk to you about tonight was a principle that a very successful man of 101 years old says that his #1 principle to success in relationships, family, money success, huge financial success. Chuck goes, well, who is it? I said, he won't let us tell him. Okay. He says that the first thing that he said, I'm only going to give you one because that's all the time I have. So more is achieved in compressed time. He said that sounds really simple. More is achieved in compressed time. Blocks of time carved out for a specific purpose, a simple discipline. It's just a simple discipline. Don't mess with it. I mean, he's breaking it down. It's just like, okay, it's a simple principle. Don't mess with it. Okay. If you have a train full of cars and wood, etc., getting it started is the hardest part. All of your energy is putting on that one task. If you are allowed distractions, an email, the ding of a phone call, etc., this happens over and over all through the day. And you end up exhausted because of the many decisions that you have to make. The slightest distraction can stop you cold. Second point was, if you are not interrupted or distracted, it builds up speed and momentum and energy, and it becomes unstoppable, like a train moving down a hill. Yeah. You have a cement block. It doesn't matter. The momentum's going. It's unstoppable. We have that kind of power as well as when you are in that, you will drop down into the zone, a state of concentration, and then you develop a supernatural strength that results in a progress of momental achievement, which uses less energy, and the results are a massive amount of results in a compressed period of time. But if it comes to a dead stop, because of interruptions, it will require a massive amount of time and energy to just get back to where it was previously, plus all the progression, all the progress that was lost. This is losing the compound effect of momentum. People do this day after day by letting distractions derail them, by switching from one project to another task. It doesn't have to be,
but it sucks that energy.
and you have to do it over.
And then that high that place where you described where they're really productive is what we describe as the zone.
Yeah,
And I
he says it's a
experience that.
zone.
It's like when you find the zone.
Well, I think
And
it's like
it's just like you're on this high and you're just like killing
Yeah.
and you're just like
And you just go into this and the momentum's gone, and it's just simply, it doesn't matter if it's doing the grocery shopping, it doesn't matter if it's being with the kids, it doesn't matter if it's business. If you take those compressed time frames and you focus in on it,
it's just like
he's
the train going
101
down the
years
track.
old.
It's just like bam. you
Well, I
got
think
it.
that's like a 2-hour tornado. I mean,
Exactly.
there's nothing in your
Yeah.
business that cannot fix.
Which is why
Only do outbound calls. Only it's because if you were talking about you called, you were like, you were like, this is just like
This is just like, it doesn't matter what it is in your life that's important to you. If you will do this, if you want to have time with the kids, you want to have time with your marriage, you shut it out. So anyway, okay. So the flip side, so people do this day after day and they derail by switching project to project. We don't multitask well at all. Okay.
multitasking is not a good.
It is not a good, it's not a good thing. So the flip side is you start at a 2-hour block of time to make calls or whatever your goal is, right? Whatever it is. Whatever it is, your block of time that is, you shut off. If it's Bible study, you shut off. I mean, I don't even take texts. I shut off the calls and the distractions and everything. So you shut off those calls. Money-making activities. So do a money-making activity, whatever it is. Okay, a 2-hour block of time that it's a money-making activity without interruptions. You build up speed, and you can achieve seemingly impossible progress in a small amount of time because it was compressed with a lot less effort and energy. So he says more is achieved in less time. And she's been saying that, and I feel that all the
But I
time.
think it's a good reminder to all of us. You know what Elizabeth said and what you said, Crystal. Like both of those, if you take those points that you both shared and implement them in multiple areas of your life in the next 2 weeks, you'd see greater benefit and greater satisfaction. Because I think that's the other thing. It's like it's what you said, Crystal. When you called me, you're like, is this a good topic? And it's like absolutely, because I think the thing is, it's not only do you achieve less, but you're less satisfied because you feel like you didn't do anything well.
Oh, yeah, then
building
you worry
time,
about
problem
and
solving,
guilt.
overcoming, like
all
right,
the
things that start
time.
to happen when you actually like make these things happen in the rest time.
You could take
And then you do it again because you realize it worked.
you
Right,
take
right.
45 minutes or 30 or 20 minutes every 3 or 4 days or twice a week. The consistency of shutting off those distractions, I can see that with my kids, my grandkids, with the business.
Well, and I think combining that with what Elizabeth said, in that do it when you feel motivated. So I agree. After I got the phone with Jean, I mean, after I watch that Facebook Live, whether I can watch it 2:30 when it's live or whether I watch it later. Right. So planning, I'm going to watch that first, and then I'm going to do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour of condensed activity because you are
Motivated.
pumped up. Yeah.
I'm emotional. I go up and down.
Yes.
So when I get on like feeling good, I'm gonna make phone calls to people I haven't been calling lately and catch up with them. I'm gonna like make business thing happen. I totally relate with that. I
Right.
have to take
So,
advantage of it.
so the calls you do and those things, after that, I'm like, I now know I have to, because it's going to fire me up. I need to like block, if it's not right after, block that in that week or in that day, even if it's 20 minutes in that day because you're motivated.
Yeah.
Well, and
I
Crystal,
say
Another
yeah.
thing in that 2-hour block of time is a really good idea. Is like, get up, take a 10-minute break. Get up, walk around. That movement, you know, somewhere motion creates emotion. Get up, walk around, clear your head.
But no more,
turn it
but
off,
no
and then come
interruptions.
back.
Right.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Don't
Turn
get
it
up, start
off,
doing the laundry.
get on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right, right. Well, and I think it's
Totally.
it's so, Crystal, you are the queen of training. You are so good at like, if there's a training, you're right on it. And you always have, when you set your goals, you go right after it. And it always amazes me how you're like, if I need that goal, Jamie, I need that goal. Because if you set that goal, you go get it. And that's awesome. And it's that focus that makes a difference. So I know you two need to leave. I've kind of like a little bit closed.
Don't want to be disruptive.
No.
It's so
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Glad you stayed for that.
Yeah,
You're right.
Like you're
During
trying
that
to
time,
interpret.
take your
Yes.
5 minutes and walk to the chicken coop.
Yeah.
Walk out to the
Like
garden or whatever.
oxygen fine, yeah.
So we're going to do the last little bit for the call.
Okay.
And I know you guys need to head off
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah. That's right. That's what she does. Yes, and she's very good at it. So, okay.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard.
me too.
I don't, but I
And so I'm going to finish the training for the training we have. So, hate this angle on the recording, by the way, but
Okay.
I'm like, I'm going to have to work on this for next time. So the follow-up, we'll talk some more about later. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
So if you make a shot, but you don't follow it, sometimes we get a switch, right? We meet with somebody, they're like, sign me up, I want their products. But so often, we got to catch the rebound and we got to follow up, right? So we have some on starfishsuccess.com. If you go to Getting Started, there is a follow-up training that's been recorded quite a while ago. That's on the slate for our short trainings. We'll be doing one of those. But go refresh yourself or listen to that if you haven't. So we're going to have some more. But the main tips on that are 24 to 48 hours is your hot window. After you first talk to somebody, after they first are interested in the sample, you got to follow up during that period of time.
Yep.
And I've got some more notes on that, but we'll do that on another training. So I want to make sure you know that the new makeup launches February 1st. Woo! So super exciting. And we're going to have a social media hashtag promotion. You probably heard Jean talk about that today. I also want to tell you that a man without a vision perishes, right? We've all heard that. So I want to share with you my vision for 2018. So my goal for 2018, I really want to focus on who can I help to succeed. And regardless of where your goals are in this business, as a friend, as a coach, I'm very much there to help. But I'm looking for 5 people who want to promote to gold or beyond. And those people I want to kind of really lock arms with, work really closely with. That means that those people will be making over $1,000 a month in our very part-time kind of hours, of course. I'll promote to titanium and be on my way to black diamond, which will be fun.
Yeah.
But so I guess the reason I want to kind of bring this up is because I think one of the things that we have this new comp plan. We have the new website. We have new products coming. We have, we just have all these pieces falling into place. And some of us, you're a new pal. Some of us have been here for a while. We've known the products were great, but we kind of needed these business tools, and they're here now. So what we were talking about earlier was what we have behind us doesn't matter. But, pal, you have some experience with seeing what they've done with Credico. And, you know, Jean is really focused, Jesse, Antoine, they're focused on making this company a success. And I still just don't think you get opportunities like this. Proven products nobody else has the innovation we have. We have this industry creates wealth.
Yep.
It also gives people the opportunity to make a couple $100s a month, make people happy. It has exceptional products. It's all right. Whatever you want from this, you can get from it. And that's one of the things that I most love. But I also know that many of us have had a vision for what this could be and have kind of been waiting, and it's kind of now's the time because it's here right now. It's in front of us. The team at corporate is making, I mean, the things that are, it's like pop, 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 pop. New things are coming all the time. The new website just launched. The new products are coming. We have the new tools on the way. We have how to get to gold, how to get to platinum trainings just around the corner. We have all these trainings. And you just couldn't find it all in one place. So here we are. So what I'm going to do, what I'd like to invite anyone who's really serious about wanting to progress to your goal. One, I want to sit down and talk about what do you want to make a month? Okay, let's map that out with the new comp plan, because with this new comp plan, we can map that out. We couldn't before. Right? We all know that. That was a bit of a stumbling block, but we're past that now. So, but also there's a 30-day boot camp. Some of the training I just did tonight is from that Danny Johnson seminar that I was at. It's a free 30-day boot camp. I'm starting it on Monday.
Yay.
I'd love to have you lock arms and join me and start that on Monday. And it's a great opportunity not only for us to kind of like, all right, let's rise up and do this, but as we have new people join us, they can start right on that 30-day boot camp also. So I'm going to send everybody the link. Let me know if you want to join me. It's a great way for us to kind of jump right in. And the last part that I wanted to say about that is, you know, I just really do believe that the thing that makes a change is when a few people lock arms in unity, ready to have some fun, ready to help each other get whatever it is we want. We can all, our success can all look different, but we can do it together. So I am excited for what 2018 has before us. Thank you guys for being here in person. Thank you for being on the Zoom, for listening later. We'll be back again soon. We'll be doing our monthly trainings, and let's just stay connected, because even through Zoom, I'm sorry we didn't get to visit more with you in person, but thank you for being on. And everybody else who was on, and have a great night.
You.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Good night. Bye. Good night. Thank you for staying on.
Yep, no problem. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal time.